Hey yogis, thanks for practicing with me. I've got an hour-long class for you today where we play with some arm balances. We do tree and side plank, and then we do chaturanga while we're in tree side plank. It's fun. So I hope you enjoy it. Grab your mat and we'll get started. Grab your 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, just come into Supta Baddha Konasana. If you've got blocks, place one of them at the lowest height setting towards the back of the mat. And the other block you want to place on this medium height setting, about like half a foot or a foot away from that first block. So we're going to lay our spine down on this first block, and then rest the head on that last block. And I like to feel that the block kind of hits like right in the center of my spine, and then you lay back. And it should feel comfortable, so feel free to adjust your blocks however you need. Open up the arms out to the sides. And just begin that process of opening the front of the body. Start to take some deep breaths into the chest. One more really deep breath here. Good. And then just roll over to one side. And come on up to hands and knees. You can move the blocks to the front of the mat and off to the sides. All right, so hands and knees. Your hands should be a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, with your wrists slightly ahead of your shoulders. The pointer fingers point forward so that the fingers are slightly flared out to the sides. Good. Then inhale, lift your tailbone, spread your collarbones, look up for cow. Exhale, round your back, press into your shins and the circumference of your palms for cat. Good. Inhale into your cow. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, cat. Belly button up into the spine as you tuck the tail. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Nice. Come on back to neutral. And with your inhale, send your right arm up. Look up at your fingers. Exhale. Bring your arm underneath your body. We're going to do some breath to movement stuff like this. Good. Inhale. Come on back up. Little twist there. Exhale, bring your arm under. Good. Inhale, reach up, big twist in that upper spine. Exhale, this time come all the way down onto the arm. Let your head drop. And then place that left hand on top of the right hand. And you want to almost try to like push the right hand away with the left hand. That action of pushing the hand away allows you to rotate a little bit more in the thoracic spine. And just breathe there. Good. Place your left hand back down. Inhale, reach your arm up, look up at your fingers. Exhale, back to tabletop. Good. Inhale, reach your left arm up, look up. Exhale, bring the arm underneath, tap the shoulder. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, come on down. Inhale, reach up, big twist. Exhale, all the way down this time. And then with that top hand on top of the bottom hand, try to press your hand away from your body. And allow that action there to allow you to twist a little bit deeper. Let's take some deep breaths right into the rib cage. Okay, place your hand back down. Inhale, reach your arm up, look up. Exhale into tabletop. All right, let's come into plank. Find that your hands are just as we had them in tabletop. And then firm your legs a lot. So we're not locking the knees, but we're just activating the quads. Almost imagine that you're squeezing a little tiny block in between your thighs. And imagine that you can press your femur bones up into your hamstrings. Nice. The more we can activate the legs, the less we're kind of dumping into the arms. And the longer we can hold the plank. Draw your front ribs up towards the back ribs. Spread the collarbones, spread the shoulder blades. Then imagine that you're firming a block between your forearms. Nice wide block. Good. And we're going to come right into side plank. Left hand down, right arm up. Stack the feet if you can. And then here we're plugging that left shoulder blade down the back. We're opening up across the collarbones. And there's that same feeling of firming the quads. And almost always we have to lift that bottom hip a little higher and rotate the top hip to stack on top of the bottom hip. Find that your neck is nice and neutral. We're not kind of collapsing in the neck. Take an inhale. Exhale back to center. And now same thing, second side. Vashisthasana, side plank. Good. Check that bottom shoulder is plugging back. Push really firmly into the circumference of your bottom hand. Nice firm legs. And then just check again on those hips. Can you lift the bottom hip a little further away from the mat? And can you allow that top hip to stack on top of the bottom hip? We're going to play with some side plank variations today. Take an inhale. Exhale, back to plank. Big breath in here. Exhale, slowly lower down to your belly. Whew. Uncurl the toes. Shift the hands back a little bit. And inhale up into cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale up to cobra. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Exhale, lower. This time reach the arms back, palms face down. Inhale, lift everything up for locust. Exhale, lower. Good, again, lift everything up, reach the fingertips back. Exhale, lower. This time interlace the hands behind the back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together behind the back and draw the shoulder blades down at the back. Knuckles towards the heels. Exhale. Inhale, everything lifts up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, everything lifts up. Try to lift the bottom ribs, the front ribs off the mat. Exhale, lower. Place your hands under your shoulders, curl your toes, lift your knees. Inhale, press up into plank. And exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Shavasana. Take a few extra breaths here and settle into your down dog. Inhale, bend your knees and look forward. Exhale, walk or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, firm the quads, press into the shins, draw the shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, fold, release your head and neck. Inhale, reach both arms up, press your palms together and look up. Exhale, palms to the heart. Palms face forward, mountain pose, Tadasana. Good, before we get into our salutations, let's come into tree. Bring your right leg up. Palms together. Good. Now actually bring your hands to your hips. Your right hip, I want you to jack it way up. And then try to go the opposite way. Bring your left hip up. You might not be able to go quite as high. And just keep doing that. We're just trying to bring the hips into this little action here where one is lifting, one is lowering. Kind of hard to do while balancing. No worries if you fall. Just come right back in. Okay, so now find where your hips are pretty much even. A lot of times that means that the leg that's up, that hip likes to come up really high. So try to bring the hips even by pressing that lifted leg's hip down. There's a slight draw down of the tailbone. We're not trying to flatten out our low back. We're just not trying to do any back bending. So for a lot of us, that means drawing the tailbone slightly down. And that standing quad, firm it without locking the knee. Your foot and your leg are pressing evenly into each other. And then see what you want to do here with the arms. You might reach the arms up. Pause and breathe. Good, now just bring your knee into your chest. And we're going to come into our first warrior 3. Send your leg back. Reach your arms forward. Good, so your lifted leg, try to lift up through the inner thigh. The pinky toes spin down. Then your outer hips are firming in. Biceps in line with the ears if you can. Reach forward through those ring fingers. Squeeze an imaginary block between your palms. Can your torso and your leg be more like a T? Inhale. Exhale, back to standing. Okay, second side of tree. Bring your left leg up. And right away, right, there's that squeezing of the foot and the leg together so we can stabilize. And then with those hips, try to draw the left hip way up. And opposite, left hip way down, right hip way up. And it's a lot harder to go that direction. And just keep going like that. Then we're going to find a place where the left hip and the right hip are in the same horizontal plane. So that left hip for most of us has to draw down as the right hip lifts up. Find that lift of the hip points to take any back bending out of that low back. Press through your standing foot. Grow out of your pelvis with your spine and reach your arms up. This is Vrikshasana tree. So that you know what's coming here, we're going to play with coming into tree from side plank and play with doing some chaturangas while in tree. It's kind of fun and crazy. Take one big deep breath in. Exhale, release, bring your knee into your chest. And come into Virabhadrasana C, Warrior 3. And spin the inner thigh of the lifted leg up as you spin the pinky toes down. Kick back through that lifted leg as you reach forward through the fingertips. Especially that standing hip, the right outer hip is firming in. And then can you be a little bit more parallel with your torso and your lifted leg to the mat? A lot of times we have to bring our chest down a little further and lift the leg up. Take an inhale. Exhale, come back to standing. Whoo, let that go. We're going to come right into Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step or float back into plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Press into the hands, lift the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, send your right leg up and back. Exhale, step your foot for warrior 1. Inhale, rise up, press into that back foot. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, step for warrior 1. Find the setup first. Press into the back foot as you inhale up into warrior 1. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair, Utkatasana. Stay for the exhale, sit nice and low. Inhale, stand up, reach up. Exhale, palms to the heart. Tadasana, mountain pose. Okay, so come back into tree with the right foot into the inner thigh. And right back into that same work that we did on the first time we did this. Now, I want you to bring your right hip way behind the left hip, almost kind of like you're swinging the knee back. And then go the opposite way, swing the knee forward. Just a few kind of like that, just kind of sway, swivel the lifted leg back and forth. Okay, and then come back to stable. Can you keep the hips in the same horizontal plane so that right hip is pulling down? And then can you draw your lifted knee further towards the back of the mat without taking your hip with it? So really having to use the strength of the outer hip to draw the knee back. Feel that work there. Keep that work as you reach the arms up. Lift up through the backs of the shoulder blades. Squeeze a block between your palms. And then play with looking up and pressing your palms together. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale, bring the palms to prayer in front of the heart. Draw your knee into your chest. And again, warrior 3, Virabhadrasana C. Find your strong warrior 3 and breathe. Good. Bend your standing knee a lot and step back into high lunge, crescent lunge. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, twist to the left. Keep really activating that back leg. And then press the elbow and the knee into each other to help you rotate in the upper spine or thoracic spine. Maybe look up at the ceiling. Shoulder blades down the back as the crown of the head reaches forward to lengthen that spine. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. Good. Look down in front of your front foot. As slowly as you can, shift into your front foot, come to the toes of the back foot. Without any momentum from that back foot, step, oh boy, into twisted chair. Take an inhale, and an exhale. Forward fold, let that go, release the head and neck. Pedal the knees out. And inhale into a halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, press into the feet, reach the arms up and look up. Exhale, palms to the heart. Tadasana, breathe in. Relax the face, breathe out. Okay, left leg comes up into tree, Vrikshasana. And now again, we're just going to swing the knee back and forward. And then come back to stillness. Draw that left hip down and try to keep it in line with the right hip as you draw the knee away from the front of the room. That left hip always wants to go back with the knee, but don't let it do that. Keep it rotating forward. This kind of work is so good for the hips and for the mobility of the hips. Bring the hands to prayer and maybe reach your arms up. Feel your strong arms as you reach up through the ring fingers. The outer upper arms spin forward. Maybe you look up and press the palms together. Take a big inhale. Exhale, palms in front of the heart. Bring your knee into your chest. And then slowly come on in to Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana C. Find your strong Warrior 3 and breathe there. Bend your standing knee a lot. Slow and controlled step into high lunge, crescent lunge. Feel the stretch in the front of the hip. Deep breath in as you reach up. Exhale, twist. Back leg is strong. Use that connection of the front knee and the front elbow. Press those two things into each other to help you twist in the upper back. Draw the shoulder blades down the back as you reach forward through the crown. Look up at the ceiling if you'd like. Take an inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale to deepen your twist. Now look down in front of your front foot. Here it goes. Come up high on your big toes. Shift forward. Without using momentum, nice and controlled, step into twisted chair. Take an inhale there and an exhale. Good. Forward fold, release. Whew. Pedal the knees out. And then let's just come into a nice forward fold. Bring your feet about hips width distance. Grab your big toes with your peace sign fingers. Firm the quads, and with your inhale, find a flat back halfway lift. Exhale, bend your elbows and fold. And here our quads are acting to actively straighten our legs without locking our knees. Many of us have to shift forward towards the balls of the feet to get the hips right over the heels. And then we are pulling on our big toes, using our arm muscles to bring the crown of the head a little closer to the floor. Sitting bones lift up, shoulder blades draw down the back. So there's that cobra-like action in our back. Relax the head and neck fully for one more full breath. Good, release, and slowly roll up to standing. Good, Surya Namaskar B variation. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, step or jump back into your plank. Exhale, Chaturanga, legs stay firm. Inhale, upward facing dog. Draw the heads of the shoulders back and down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, your right leg up and back. Exhale, step your foot for warrior one. Inhale, rise up, Virabhadrasana A. Pause here. Good. Settle into your warrior one. Press into the outer edge of your back foot to lift the inner arch of the back foot. And then see if you can draw the tailbone down slightly to lift the hip points up. There's a slight twist in warrior one. Square the shoulders to the front of the room. Find that little twist. Press your palms together, look up, take a big inhale. With your exhale, open it up into warrior two, Virabhadrasana B. Bring your hands to your hips. Similar to what we did standing in triangle, try to send your front hip up so it's higher than your back hip. It's going to be super hard to do that. And then go the opposite way, lift the back hip up. A little easier to do that. And just kind of keep back and forth, flossing the hips, as I think we say sometimes. We say weird things in yoga. Good, and then find a place where the front hip is lifting up so it's in line with the back hip. For many of us, that means we've got to really actively push forward through that back hip. The back hip is pushing forward towards the front hip. Bend your front knee right over your front ankle. And then that back hip is actually rotating forward a little bit. And that's what helps to get the knee to stack over the ankle. Pause there, reach the arms out wide. Square your shoulders towards the left side of the room, but then look forward. Warrior two, one more full breath. Straighten your front leg. And now for triangle, the front hip reaches way, way, way back. The top hip rotates down. I like to have a block outside of my front foot. Left arm reaches up. Plug the shoulders down the back. And we're trying to take any side bending out of this. So can you knit the top ribs and hip point a little closer together? You can also think about like pushing the rib cage down. Find that twist in the upper back and breathe. Good. Look down. Bring your hands down. Step back into plank. And let's find side plank. Left hand down, right arm up. From here, bring your top leg into tree. Press the inner thigh up into the foot into the inner thigh. And all that same work that we did, can you keep the top hip stacked on top of the bottom hip, but then bring the lifted knee back so it's right on top of the hip? Whew, tough work there. Press through your bottom hand, press through the outer edge of your left foot. Neutralize your neck. Then can you stay in tree in your legs and come into plank? Can you stay in tree in the legs and come into chaturanga? Then step back, inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Woohoo. And don't worry if that was like a total flop. We're gonna get to do it again on the second side and then one more time on both sides. Inhale your left leg up and back. Exhale, step your foot and come up to warrior one. Press into the outer edge of the back foot. Tailbone draws down slightly. And we're squaring the chest to the front of the room. A lot of times that means left side ribs move back, right side ribs move forward. Maybe press the palms together, look up. Reach up through those fingers, take an inhale. Exhale, warrior two, Virabhadrasana B. Hands to the hips. Hip flossing, here we go. Send that front hip, the left hip up, and then down. So we're trying to get the left hip to lift higher than the back hip. Probably not really gonna happen, but just that action. And then we go the opposite way. Okay, let's pause with that front hip lifting up. In order to really get it in line with the back hip, we've got to firm the outer hip in. Nice good bend in that front knee. And then the back hip or the right hip is going to rotate forward slightly. That's what gets the knee over the ankle. Keeping that work in the hips, square the shoulders to the right side and reach the arms. Firm your arms, look forward. Warrior two, Virabhadrasana B. Good. Straighten your front leg. Hug the front hip in and rotate the top hip forward towards the front toes. And we'll find our way into triangle Trikonasana. It is a forward bend in that front leg, so it's going to feel like a lot on the hamstring for most of us. Those legs are firm, and then again we want to take that side bend out of the top waist. So can you push the top ribs down? Reach across the arms. Lengthen your spine. Find that little twist in the ribs. Maybe look up. Good. Look down. Bring your hands down. And here we go. Second side. Step back into plank. Side plank. This time left arm up. Keep a really strong base here, all right? So press through that right arm and then come into tree with the legs. Push the thigh up into the foot. Foot back into the thigh. And I can already tell that I'm not in the right alignment, so that top hip wants to roll back. Roll it forward. Lift the bottom hip. And then can you get the knee to stack? Oh man, I said we were going to do this again after this. Okay, let's come now. Keep tree if you can. Come back into plank. Keep tree if you can. Chaturanga. Both legs back. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Whew. Pause there for a few breaths. All right, if you're like, I'm pretty good on that, stand down dog or child's pose. If you want to try it again on both sides, come forward and plank. Left hand down, right arm up. Find your tree. Get that work in the hips. Keep tree, plank. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. All right, let's do it. Plank. Right side. Find the work, find the alignment, and breathe. Keep it as you come into plank. Inhale in your plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. It can be sloppy. I won't judge you. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath into the nose. Open your mouth. Walk your hands back to meet your feet. And for this fold, you can step on your palms, toes at the wrist creases. Give those wrists a little massage and just relax the head and neck. Okay, now just step the right foot forward and come into a wide-legged fold. This time the toes out a little bit, heels in. And then just bend one knee, shift your legs towards the bent knee. And then come back to center and switch sides. So we're just getting into the inner thighs. Either just keep going back and forth like that, or if you're someone who really likes to come into Skandasana, feel free to come into Skandasana on both sides. Just take your time. We'll eventually meet with the toes in slightly, heels out. Forward fold with your hands interlaced and the knuckles reaching up overhead. Open up those shoulders. Good. Release your hands. Come on back into down dog. Step your right foot outside of your right hand. Come down onto the back knee. And we're going to take that nice quad stretch. Bend the back knee, reach back with your hand. Stretch that quad by pulling the heel towards the glute. Release your back foot, heel toe the front foot over for pigeon. And then just a few breaths here in pigeon. From pigeon, come back up to your hands. Curl the back toes, lift the back knee, and then draw the front knee into the chest. Press into the hands, dome the back like you're doing cat, and bring that knee nice and close. Bring the knee to the right elbow. Bring the knee to the left elbow. Twist. And then fall in triangle. If you like to lift the foot up off the floor, feel free to do so. Nice firm legs, shoulder blades draw down. We'll come back into downward facing dog. Step your left foot outside of your left hand. Come on down to that back knee. And make your way into the quads stretch. Okay, release your back foot. Pigeon, Raja Kapottanasana. All right, come back up to your hands. Curl the back toes, lift the back knee. Draw the knee to the chest. Press into your palms, round your back, squeeze your knee in. Knee to the left elbow. Knee to the right elbow twist. Fall in, triangle. Lift everything up, press down into the floor and the mat with everything that's touching the floor and the mat. Neutral neck. And let's come on back into our downward facing dog. Last vinyasa, inhale forward into plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then just come on down to your knees and come up to standing on your knees. Ustrasana, the camel pose. Tailbone draws down as the hip points lift up. Lean back, reach back for the heels. Then push your hips forward as you lift the heart up. Shoulder blades draw together, and then we're pushing the shoulder blades up into the heart space. Inhale. Exhale, come on up. Sit back on your heels, rest your hands on your knees, close your eyes. One more time, come on up. Firm your glutes. Lean back. Reach back. Hips go forward over the knees. Chest is lifting. We're pushing down into our shins. Inhale. Exhale, come on out. Sit back, close the eyes. Let's make our way down onto our backs. Hug your knees into your chest and just make little circles with your knees. happy baby. To stay here with the legs up. We haven't really done a ton of like inversions. So you can pause here for a few breaths just with the legs up over the hips. You can come to a wall, bring your legs up the wall. If you're already ready for Shavasana, you can come right on in. Whatever you're doing, start to release any tension going on in the body. I find it usually the tension can kind of hold or stick in the face. Soften the eyebrows. Soften through your cheekbones. Soften the jaw. And by now the breath should flow fairly easy through the body. Notice how you feel compared to when you started class. And we'll be here just for about a minute or so, just in this place of rest, of stillness, and connection to ourselves. Shavasana. If your legs are up, feel free to bring them back down whenever you're ready, or you can leave them up, totally up to you. If you have more time to stay here and rest, please do so. If you're ready to come out, take a few deeper breaths back into your body. Reach your arms overhead, point your toes forward, full body stretch. And place your feet onto the mat. Roll to one side. Press into your hands and sit up. Let's take one more full breath here together. Inhale. Open the mouth. All right, thanks so much, yogis. If you've enjoyed class, let me know. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. And I am doing these classes on donation base just to keep myself motivated to keep offering these to you guys. But it's been fun. I hope you're enjoying them. Namaste.